Hello there. I'm going to walk you today through some NCCE resources which relate to developing for the web. And essentially, we're looking at HTML. We're going to look at what it means. We're going to look at how to structure what we call static web pages. And we're going to modify some of the tags. We're going to use a couple of techniques known as inline styling to make the pages better and improve the appearance. So let's take a look. So what does HTML stand for? Essentially, it's hypertext markup language. Very similar to a programming language, not quite the same, but certainly structured in terms of the way that you generate web pages. So essentially, HTML is they're building blocks or bricks of a website that provide the structure to organize the text and the images of web pages and to make them look as good as they do. Each of these building blocks are identified with pairs of tags. So you have one to start the block. In this case, we have a P, which means paragraph, and then the P ends with a little slash there. So there's a pair there. And then one, for example, here, there's a B, which means on sale is going to be bold, emboldened, and then the slash B, which means that the bold bit of the text will end at the end of the word on sale and the space there. Much more on this in the next few minutes. So here's an example. We have some more tags here. So there's an H1 tag, which means header 1, which makes the three little pigs bigger. We've got EM, which places something called emphasis on the words little pig, let me in. And there's H1 slash H1, so it ends there, EM slash EM, so there's a pair. And here's the other one, the first built is out of B for bold, straw, end the B, and there's the word straw. Any text that's not enclosed by a tag is simply plain text. They call it plain text. Okay, so I've got a hold of some of these things, some of these web pages, and I've already had a little jig about with them. So the first thing I'm going to show you is the 3pigs.htm. So if I go to one of these, that's the one is there, I believe. Let's have a look. There it is. So this is the first 3pigs.htm file, which generates a web page. And if I go to the web page itself, it's this one. So what do we see? We see that I've got something here which says H1, the story of the three little pigs, and it is a header and it's bold. We've then got a P from HTTPS from Gutenberg.org, because we got this from Gutenberg Press. That's all good, actually. There we go, it's that one. And then you'll see that there's quite a lot of writing here, okay? And there is indeed quite a lot of writing here, but you'll notice, I hope, that on the coding page in Notepad, there's lots of lovely carriage returns and enters, and it makes it into paragraphs. Not so here. HTML does not like text unless it's got P and paragraphs in it. It'll just spit it all out at you like this, like one big spiel of text, unless you actually say P and P. So there's a P there for Gutenberg. Yeah, that's all good. But the rest of it, there's a P, once upon a time there was an old sow, and the P there. So let's put this into what is called a paragraph. The rest of it, even though here it looks as though there's lots of paragraphs, HTML doesn't understand it. So one thing that we really need to get our heads around is being able to basically understand how the paragraphs are written and how to make them into standard web pages which look good, and to try some of these as well. So let's have a look. Okay, so my styled version. So this is the bit that wasn't really styled by me. So I'm going to close that one. And I don't think I need that. Let's not save that. So if I go back to my other one, which is here, you'll see now I've got the web page, the original web page there. And what I've done is I've tried to take it and I've tried to style it a little bit. So the things up here, doc type HTML and HTML and head and body, we're going to come to later. Essentially, these are the beginnings of when you make a web page. But as you can see, if I go to my next page, it's looking a little bit better. There's some subtle differences here. So let's look again. There's the first one that hasn't been changed by me. And here's the second one. Fairly similar at the top. Notice though, this is a little bit smaller, the Gutenberg reference. And I've got things like bundle of straw with a B, which wasn't there before. And I've also done something there with little pig, let me in, which is, where is it? One of these somewhere, there you go. But the main thing you'll notice is that it looks a little bit more like a story now, because I've actually put P's in. How have I done that? Using this, really simple. So I've taken the H1, I've just put a P there, I've put small there. So I've made this small with an opening tag of small and then an end tag of small, /small. And I've done a few things, like I've put some emphasis in, little pig, let me in. EM means emphasis. In this case, what it's done, it compares the text to what's around it and it makes it emphasized. Here it's italicized it, made it italic. But I've put loads of P's. I've got a P there, and then I've got a P there, and I've ended the P, got another P there, and so on. Now, you need to do this as a website designer to get your pages to look anyway half decent. It's just the way this is after all coding. Okay, I've not done it for all of them. I've just done it so you get a feel for them. Bundle of straw I made bold. Let's see if I can find the B for bold somewhere over here. Where are we going? So little pig, let me, there we go, bold. So B, straw, /B. So it just makes the straw word bold and the rest of it isn't. Okay, so this is it unformatted. This is it slightly better formatted. Okay, all good so far, I hope. So, I've used some of the B's. I've used emphasis. Don't think I used italics, but this is italicized. I'm not sure I used Q either. I might come back to that. And then small makes items smaller. Okay. So it's okay, I guess. You know, you're looking at an improvement here. So this does look a bit more presentable than that. Still not amazing, is it, really? It's not the most exciting looking website. So what we want to do is we want to effectively paint the bricks. So we're going to use something called inline formatting. Now, inline formatting, and there's a worksheet which accompanies this, essentially puts paint upon the bricks of the website that you built. So you can see here, and I've not done this particular one, but they've created an H2 style. So it's a little bit smaller than H1. And they've made a color red for the words pig1, and then normal text for this. And then they've done H2 style color green for pig2, and then normal text below that about being built out of sticks. So what we're going to do is look at the activity instructions, which is here. So here we are with the activity instructions sheet, and you can see it's NCCE Year 8, developing for the web. You should have access to this. And you can see that the file that I've got in the plain text editor, so my plain text editor is this one, because it's Notepad. It's about as plain as they come. I love Notepad. It's super simple, really powerful if you know what to do with it. It's really, really good. There's nothing that gets in the way of Notepad. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to do what is asked of me here. Now, that would take me 45 minutes if I did this live. So what I'm going to do is actually show you what I've already done in the manner of Blue Peter. And I'm going to show you here. So this is the one that I had. And this is me now having styled it here. And there's a difference between the two. So if I just have them side by side a little bit here, let's have a look. Okay, let's have a look. Let's make that a little bit further over there. So you can see here, this is all the same. Yeah, good, same there. I've changed the body. I've given the body style a certain background color, because what the worksheet's asking is that it sort of resembles this. I've gone fairly close to that. You'll see in a moment. I've not done identical to that, but I've just kind of played about with it a little bit. So the worksheet's asking us to open up the text file and to make certain changes. For example, the red text becomes centered by using this piece of code. Okay. Now, my H1 here at the moment doesn't feature this. But the amended one, you'll see it does. Let me show you. There's the original. There's the amended. H1 style, no H1 style there. H1 style equals color red, text align center. So the color of the text is going to be red, and the alignment of the text, where it is on the page, is going to be centered. Note the American spelling, by the way. To be fair to the Americans, they did invent the internet, so they get to choose a spelling. No U there, no RE there, it's Americanized spelling, okay? Similarly, I've got something called Font Family Helvetica. I've got something that says border 4px solid black, which I'm going to come to in a moment. And I've got background color yellow, and then the story of the three little pigs. So it's much more complicated than just this one there. Okay, let's go look at what this one looks like. So as a reminder, this is what the original looked like, not good at all. This was the second one, which looked at least a little bit more spaced. And this is the third one. Okay, you can see a difference here. Big difference. Now, here, pretty plain, better than that. I'm going to get rid of that because I'm so annoyed with that one. There we go. But this one, you can see I've now got red text. Let's have a look. Let's come down here. Right. Body style, background color gray, J-R-E-Y rather than G-R-A-Y. Color white, text color white. H1 style. So this is for the entire body. The body style is the entire body of this, going all the way down the web page. Okay. I then individually alter just the H1. The H1 is the header there. So the story of the three little pigs. I've made the color red. I've made the text centered. I've done the font family to be Helvetica, which is a certain font style, and it's sans serif, so it isn't like this one that's got little squiggly bits at the top and the bottom. And I've done the background color yellow. Easily, I could change this. So shall I do that? Okay, so let's do the text style there. Let's make the text style blue. I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it. I already have done, but I'm going to save it as .html. So I'm not going to save it as a text document. I'm going to save it as .html. Okay. I'm actually going to click and say .html because that's the only way you can guarantee you're actually going to build a web page. I'm going to do that. It'll say that it already exists because it does. If I go to here now and I refresh it, boom, I've got it blue. Awesome. If I now go and I change the border, and I might say, let's make it a red border. Should we make it red? Yeah, let's make it red. Okay, I need to keep my little semicolon in there for that helps HTML figure out what's going on. Go to there. And it's gone red. Very nice. And if I go to background color yellow, oh boy, what shall I make it? Let's make it background color white. Background color white. And while I'm changing things, I'm going to go, the background color here is going to be, I don't know, green. This is the background color for the entire page, by the way. Oh boy. And I might make the, I might make this orange. Oh boy, that's not so easy to read, is it? Maybe yellow might work a little bit better. Forgive me for those of you who are design color specialists. Okay, that will do, I suppose. I think I preferred it the other way, but at least you can see that this is how I can change this really simply and really easily. So what I'm now able to do is add color, is add borders. In other words, the sort of things that are on this worksheet. Now these are examples it's giving you here. So, and as I was working through this, I was thinking it's not super clear exactly how you do this, which is why I wanted to give you some a kind of insight into how I did it. So you can change the font family, you can change the font size in pixels. Now I mentioned PX before. PX means pixels, essentially the tiny dots that make up individual elements of the screen. So if you make it 25 pixels, that's not a bad size. If you make it 250 pixels, it'll be super huge and massive and it won't be really good for you. So if I make the border, let's say, I don't know, even 44 pixels, see what the border of that looks like. It'll be crazy. Let's have a look. There, you know, big old border. So certainly if I make it to, I don't know, 3 pixels, it'd be a bit more manageable. Okay. So Have a little go at all of this. Have a go at changing the borders and the background or the color. And the background says here actually, the body tag marks the start and end of the content of the page. Here's the body tag. Okay, here. This is the body tag. It also says if you modify this tag, which is what I've done here, then everything that you've applied here applies to the entire page. Unless you then go and you say particularly, keep that for the whole page, but H1, give it a different style, or H2, or whatever it's going to be. So body style equals, let's say this, will affect the entire web page. So I'm just going to go, because I'm really put off by that, I'm going to make it blue. I have no idea how good this will look. It might be quite harsh. Oh, it's a bit harsh. Okay, so this changes the entire content of the page. Okay, and if I make the color there, and if I make the color green, you can also do this in those of you who know hexadecimal. You can use web colors for hexadecimal. You can do all kinds of things. I'm keeping it fairly simple for this one. There you go. You might not see it. It's gone kind of green. So what you can do basically is use some of this to hopefully guide you through the worksheet, which is this one there, so that you've got something you can compare them with, and you can see actually what they're asking there. I've done very similar to with this one. Okay. So have we achieved these objectives? I hope that you now understand what HTML is. I hope that you understand that we use HTML to build static web pages, to build the blocks of them. And I hope you've been able to successfully have a go at using something called inline styling. And you can tell it's inline styling because it's got the word style in it. And that improves the appearance of web pages. The only issue that we've got if we're using inline styling is that let's say that you wanted to alter a header 1 or a header 2 or particular words, you'd have to go and alter each header 1 and each header 2 that may exist on that page. You might have 10 headers on that page. You've got to go and change it 10 times. So it's a powerful technique compared to what that looked like. Certainly you can see that there's an advantage to doing this, but there are much better ways of changing styling when you're using web pages other than doing inline styling on a static web page. We'll come to that in future lessons. Okay, so I hope that's of use to you, and I hope you got something out of it. And yeah, happy coding, enjoy it. It's really good when you're learning HTML. It's a really satisfying thing to do. So I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.